This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Today's video is brought to you by CuriosityStream. In just a moment, I'm going to talk about an offer exclusive to you and my audience that I think you should check out. Before I get to that, though, let's talk a little bit, briefly, about Republican voters. Republicans, the run-of-the-mill, your neighbors, not necessarily politicians. We'll get to that. Republican voters, whether willfully or maybe unwillingly, just believe the lies that their leaders tell them. They have been sold a bill of goods relative to what's fake news and the liberal media that lies. And I tend to believe that they just want to believe that so badly that they just repeat it. Because we have evidence, time after 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 time of their politicians and their leaders and these people they revere being caught in lies. Kevin McCarthy is the latest. The New York Times has been reporting out this story about things that Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell said in the lead up to the impeachment vote after the insurrection, after Trump incited a mob to attack our Capitol in a violent, deadly insurrection, which they believed to be the case. Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy both said as much. And they're saying, well, he said this, that he was going to call the president and tell him that he needed to resign. And Kevin McCarthy has vehemently, forcefully denied it. And now we had a phone call proving that he is a filthy liar. And listen, it's one thing to lie, but the other thing and the most important thing about it for me is, one, that you have no integrity, but also that you believe your followers, that your supporters, that your voters are so stupid that they're going to buy the thing that you say. We're going to get to that, but before I do, a word from today's sponsor, CuriosityStream. Was too much of your time during the pandemic spent in the dregs of the streaming universe? Do you see friends socially now and feel like you no longer know how to hold a conversation? Recalibrate your communication skills with CuriosityStream. CuriosityStream is the world's first streaming service expressly intended to address our human need to learn, explore, and understand. Think of it as the Hulu for historians or the Netflix for nerds. CuriosityStream features tons of documentary and nonfiction titles from some of the world's best filmmakers, plus exclusive originals. Go to curiositystream.com/Dollemore. Sign up with my code right now and get 25% off. That makes CuriosityStream only $14.99 for the whole year, just over $1 per month. It's good for your head and it's good for your wallet. I have been winding down at night with the mysterious calm of the Sacred Spaces series. But there's so much more, from shows about classic cars to documentaries on deep-sea fossils. CuriosityStream will capture your imagination. Their content is available on almost any platform and is available worldwide. This means you won't get geo-blocked if you're in a remote part of Myanmar. You can just continue watching that documentary about Myanmar. Boost your brains at curiositystream.com/Dollemore. Using code Dollemore, you'll save 25% off of CuriosityStream, which again comes out to only $14.99 per year. That's basically $1 a month. I absolutely appreciate your support of my channel, but sign up for CuriosityStream so you can keep up the good watch. So if you're unfamiliar with this story, let me refresh you with a couple of paragraphs from the New York Times, and they're reporting about this. This is the headline. I've had it with this guy, quote unquote. GOP leaders privately blasted Trump after January 6th. In the days after the attack, Representative Kevin McCarthy planned to tell Mr. Trump to resign. Senator Mitch McConnell told allies impeachment was warranted, but their fury faded fast. Which, of course, we witnessed. We witnessed both Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy put the onus of the attack onto Donald Trump. Kevin McCarthy said he was morally responsible for it. New York Times reporting here. In the days after the January 6th attack on the Capitol building, the top two Republicans in Congress, Representative Kevin McCarthy and Senator Mitch McConnell, told associates they believe President Trump was responsible for inciting the deadly riot and vowed to drive him from politics. Kevin McCarthy vowed to drive Donald Trump from politics. Mr. McCarthy went so far as to say he would push Mr. Trump to resign immediately. Quote, "I've had it with this guy," unquote. He told a group of Republican leaders, according to an audio recording of the conversation obtained by the New York Times. Now, this article I'm reading from right now was updated with the audio recording. Before, they didn't talk about the audio recording. Continuing, but within weeks, both men backed off an all-out fight with Mr. Trump because they feared retribution from him and his political movement. Their drive to act faded fast as it became clear it would mean difficult votes that would put them at odds with most of their colleagues. So they're not leaders, they're followers. They got to go with the herd. They can't make a tough decision like a good leader does. They can't lead the troops into battle against this insurrectionist president. No. They got to go with what the crowd does, what everybody else is doing. Well, they're all jumping off the bridge. I got to jump off the bridge too. Everyone else is destroying the American democracy. I got to take part too. Mr. McConnell's office declined to comment. And in a statement on Twitter early Thursday, Mr. McCarthy called the reporting totally false and wrong. His spokesman, Mark Bednar, denied that the Republican leader told colleagues he would urge Mr. Trump to leave office. Quote, "Mr. McCarthy never said he'd call Trump to say he should resign," Mr. Bednar said. But the recording tells a different story. Kevin McCarthy even came out and issued this lengthy tweet, boldly proclaiming, "This is my statement to the New York Times," completely denying it and then invoking all of the charges and the claims about the biased fake news media trying to do a hit piece and engage in partisan politics. But now we know he is a filthy liar. That in private to his colleagues, he's a big, tough guy. I'm going to tell Trump to resign. And then in front of the cameras, meaning in front of Trump, he's a whipped, beaten, wet, afraid dog. We're lucky to have him on video. Usually he's hidden under his desk in the fetal position, sucking his thumb in terror of the glory and strength of Donald Trump. These people are beyond parody. Anyway, here's that audio. This is a phone call between Liz Cheney, where she actually exhibits some leadership, and Kevin McCarthy, who is feigning like he's a tough guy. "Oh yeah, I'm gonna call Trump and I'm gonna tell him he needs to go." Listen to this.
Liz, you on the phone?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks, Kevin. I guess there's a question. When we were talking about the 25th Amendment resolution,
Yeah.
and you asked if what happens if it gets there after he's gone. Is there any chance? Are you hearing that he might resign? Is there any reason to think that might happen?
I've had some few discussions. My gut tells me no. I'm seriously thinking of having that conversation with him tonight. I haven't talked to him in a couple days. From what I know of him, I mean, you guys all know him too. Do you think he'd ever back away? But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to call him. This is what I think. No, it'll pass the House. I think there's a chance it'll pass the Senate even when he's gone. And I think there's a lot of different ramifications for that. Now, I haven't had a discussion with the Dems that if he did resign, would it not happen? Now, this is one personal fear I have. I do not want to get into any conversations about Pence party or anything like that. I mean, the only discussion I would have with him is that I think this will pass, and it would be my recommendation we should resign. I mean, that would be my take, but I don't think he would take it. But I don't know.
Yeah. Said it with his own mouth. And then had the gall and the temerity to deny it. Forcefully. Vehemently. Convincingly to some. Nobody believes that. Do you believe, if you're a Republican watching me, did you really believe it? And what are you going to do now? What are you going to say now about the man who wants to be Speaker of the House of Representatives, the highest ranking Republican in the House of Representatives? He believed to his colleagues that Donald Trump should resign from office. He was so culpable for the violent attempted overthrow of the United States government that he should resign from office. The good news is, there are more recordings. There is more evidence of these types of things. I'm going to read from this Daily Beast headline. We have a lot more New York Times reporters tease additional McCarthy audio. Reading from the article, and yet things might not be getting any better for McCarthy if what the two Times reporters on the story told MSNBC's Rachel Maddow comes to pass. Alexander Burns and Jonathan Martin appeared on Maddow's primetime show to discuss their story, specifically the phone call in which McCarthy told Republican leaders in Congress that he would tell then-President Trump he should resign in light of the impending impeachment resolution. Quote, I would just say for the book-buying audience out there, for people who work in politics, this is only the start, said Martin, whose co-byline report Thursday is derived from the upcoming book, This Will Not Pass, Trump, Biden, and the Battle for America's Future. Quote, we have captured some of the most intimate and sensitive conversations in the extraordinary period following January 6th on tape. And there is much more to come between now and when the book is out on May 3rd. Two things. One, this is pernicious behavior by journalists. If you got the goods, report the evidence that you have. For the sake of American democracy, you goons. Alexander Burns and Jonathan Martin, if you got it, tell us you got it. That is why your occupation is the only one mentioned with constitutional protections in the Constitution, in the First Amendment. Not so you could profit off of a book, holding on to important details. Second, how you feel now, Kevin McCarthy, now that your lies have been laid bare? You coward. You anti-democrat, you tough guy in private, and you weak anti-democratic coward in public. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I would love it if you would follow me on social media. I'm Instagram, Dollemore, Twitter at Dollemore, TikTok at Dollemore. And if I do anything for you, if you appreciate what I do, I would love it if you would help support and produce what I do here. You can click the join button below this video, become a channel member, or you can head on over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I absolutely love and appreciate every single one of you, your engagement with my content, the voicemails, the sounding off with your opinions. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine and take care of one another.